car is so dirty. I need a car wash so bad.
So today is my 20-week anatomy scan, and I'm actually on the way there now. I really quickly just wanted to say a huge thank you to my Patreon members. Without my members over there, I wouldn't be able to continue posting YouTube videos here. So I just wanted to say a big thank you. And also, here are some of the videos that will be on my Patreon for the month of November. So definitely check those out. The link will be down in the description box below. And we have some new $3 and $5 tiers, as well as the $10 and $13 ones. So now it's more affordable for more of you guys to sign up if you wanted to. But first, I'm gonna pick up some coffee.
Oh, I always forget my mask.
Thank you. You too. Okay.
I don't normally get Starbucks in the morning every morning, but my coffee's been tasting so bad to me, and so I'm still trying to figure out coffee that I like now that I'm pregnant. So I will show you. That's what I normally get, and it's all vegan. Also, I get quite a few comments sometimes about people saying like, oh, when you're driving, like you should have some sort of like a tripod thing to put my camera on, and I actually do. I just think sometimes it doesn't look like I do. You see how bad the air quality is here? Like those mountains, you can't even see them in the distance. It always says on our phones, you know, under the weather app, it says like poor air quality. Look, it's a surprise store. I wonder what we'll find in there. This is my first time to this doctor. So basically my midwives sent me and recommended me to this doctor that's going to be doing my 20-week scan. It's like regular protocol. I guess this is what they do. My 19 week pregnancy, my hair is falling out, my face is breaking out. I now weigh 130 pounds. I don't know how I'm gaining so much weight. I really don't feel like I'm eating more than usual. I've been really good about drinking my 2 liters of water every day. I've just been tired, to be honest, even though I'm in my second trimester. I've been extremely moody. My anxiety has gotten way worse, which is why I've been talking to a psychiatrist. They want to medicate me. That's like a whole thing. I need to do more research and talk to my midwives and this doctor and my psychiatrist. Like I have a whole team of people trying to figure out what's best for me and the baby right now. Oh, I also felt the baby kick for the first time at 18 weeks. So that was like a really big deal. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna go in and I will hopefully be able to film a little bit for you in there. So stay tuned.
Are you bleeding anything like that?
No, I just had spotting at the
Spotting.
beginning, yeah.
Okay. So I have thought with any kind of medical issues or screening. This is the spine. We'll set this up on top. You feel some good fetal movements?
I have, yeah, a little bit here and there.
Right now, these breech, which is not a big deal, doesn't matter. Placenta's anterior, which means you'll feel some movements, but they'll be stronger in the next couple of weeks. A lot of amniotic fluid, this black stuff looks good. With IVF pregnancy, there's also higher risk of congenital heart defects. You always look at the heart a little closer.
Okay.
And do what's called a fetal echo. We'll do it right now too. Right down below. And did you have PGS implanted down when you had the baby?
Yes, I did.
So you knew before and it was a boy?
Yep, they were all boys actually.
Yeah, how many more do you have left?
One.
One, very good. That's way down here. There's both feet side by side. One, that one's pointing down.
Oh, awesome.
Sac, penis.
So it's still a boy?
Yep, still a boy.
Okay.
There's the spine. That's one hand right there, thumb and fingers. And that's where it is on the, and then the humerus right there. Humerus there. Both hands look good, spine looks good. Look at the head a little closer up here. And right now being breech doesn't matter, I can do whatever it wants.
Okay.
So the back of the brain called the cerebellum. Back of the neck. Back of the spine. These are teeth inside the mandible, the maxilla, and this is the palate, so no cleft lip, no cleft palate.
No, oh good.
Yeah, let's see that earlier. Rotate this way.
So you could tell if they have cleft lip at this point?
Yes. Lip and palate, both.
Okay.
So this is what's called the choroid plexus. This is part of the brain that makes water.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it gets the plumbing for our brain, so when you do this, you'll get a concussion. Sometimes you can get it gets a little clogged, you get some little bubbles here.
Mm-hmm.
Those are called choroid plexus cysts. So your baby has that on, looks like the left side, but that's not part of the brain that, actually that's the right side. Now, that's not part of the brain that has any brain activity. It's all just plumbing.
Okay.
There's no association with having that and having any other issues with the baby's growth or development. So when you see it now, have you come back and see us in about 8 to 9 weeks, it should be gone.
Okay.
It's literally always gone.
Okay.
And since you already had PGS done, we're not worried about any kind of other congenital abnormality.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can see that, we see it more often with normal pregnancies. We see about maybe 20 or 30 a month.
Okay.
Sometimes in case you haven't had PGS, you also be concerned about something called trisomy 18.
Okay.
You already had that done, we're not worried about that.
Okay.
Heart rate. 154. Best position for me to see this. When I do see this good.
Okay.
Pulmonary veins. The heart itself looks good.
What is that at the bottom?
We're looking at the heart. This is looking for any kind of holes on both sides.
Okay.
So here I see the septum. It looks like it's nice and intact.
It's supposed to look like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really fine. A little bit of interference from the surrounding tissue just because the baby's sitting with the back up. I can still see everything you see.
Okay.
We'll check again when you come back also. We look at the brain, make sure that thing's gone, make sure that's gone too. This is the kidneys, both look good. Spine itself looks good. And that's the femur, the thigh bone right there.
So the things in the brain, they're just little cysts that are in there right now?
So it's like it's called a choroid plexus cyst. It's where the baby makes water.
Okay.
So literally, the way I kind of think of it is, it makes water. Sometimes those cysts get those cells get a little clogged,
Mm-hmm.
and they make a little bubble. And once the bubble resolves, it goes away.
And it should go away in a few weeks?
It always goes away.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Like literally, there's few things I can say in medicine. I, in all my years, never seen it stay by.
Okay. And then the heart thing, that is just because of the way he's sitting?
Oh, this looks fine.
Oh, it all looks good.
This
Okay.
is fine. Yeah. Nothing wrong. I mean, it's not the easiest exam for me, but the baby's fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah, this makes it more challenging, but nothing I'm worried about.
Okay.
Baby looks normal. .8. That's fine. So this is this continuous blood flow. This is a vessel that's going across here, leading to here. This is your baby over here.
Uh-huh.
So you have like a sinus going in the vessel. Basically, you have a space, and you see all this stuff that's moving.
Uh-huh.
And you can kind of, if I push down, you can see that little membrane. There we go, right there.
Okay.
See all this? This is full of venous blood. That shouldn't be there, but it's there. We need this to fuse to this. Basically, it's a space full of blood. If your baby's head was right here, trying to come out, it would hit that and cause bleeding inside.
Okay.
Which could be, of course, dangerous, fatal. You'll be treated like what's called a Vasoprevia. You see all those blood vessels? All that stuff that's moving, all this swirling around?
It's all blood?
That's all blood. So this is your exit over here. From here, this is the cervix, this little line, and actually the cervix is a little on the shorter side. That explains why I delivered a little early last time. Most people don't go that early, you're lucky. I got 2.5.
So will I go early again this time?
Yeah.
Do you deliver babies?
Me, no. I'm just a consultant.
Okay, so I might need to get an OBGYN.
Yeah, I'd say 1,000%. And in general, just seeing that with the shorter cervix, it might be more advisable. I'm gonna have you come back and see me actually in 2 weeks. I'm gonna double check your cervix again. The cervical length is from here, you see this little edge? To here.
Okay.
And then all these vessels are coming over. I don't see much of a cervix. This is those very friable vessels. So what happens is should be 4 to 5 centimeters. So if you look at the screen, your cervix should be this long. It should be from here to here. You're half that. That does put you at risk for preterm delivery, possibly before 38 weeks. And on top of that, there's just all these vessels here. If I want color blood flow, You see all of them? Those shouldn't be there. The key for this is to recognize it.
So do you have a doctor you would recommend?
Oh, lots.
Okay.
Lots, tons. What you do have is called a Vasa Previa.
Okay.
They're vessels that are in front of the cervix, so the baby has to go through those to deliver. Right now, obviously, you're too early for delivery. The problems, if you look it up, you'll see people have bad outcomes, demise, this and that. It happens when they're not recognized, and it happens at home or in the hospital, not ready for it, and this can be very tragic. But for you, recognize it, the vessels can move. It sounds funny, but they can actually move. Your vessels are very closely affixed to the cervix. I don't know if they'll move for sure. We'll follow you closely and go from there.
Okay.
So right now, I'll see you back in 6 weeks. I was going to say 8, but I'll see you back in 6 weeks. We'll check the vessels, see what's going on with the baby's growth, make sure it's all stable. The rest of the baby looks fine. I'm not worried about that. Delivery, if it's persistent and I still see it around 32 weeks, then we'll confirm cesarean section for delivery. Usually we do that around 35, 36 weeks. A little earlier, because if it's still there, those veins are very, very friable, and as you get close to term, the baby's head just bangs against the cervix. It can cause like a little rupture.
Okay, I see. So you said 2 weeks, but now we're going to wait a little bit longer?
Oh, for the cervix, we can actually wait till we come back in 2 weeks, that's fine.
So am I now considered high?
Yeah.
I'm
so why don't
considered
you come
high
back in
risk.
2 weeks?
Okay.
Because your cervix on top of that is a little on the shorter side.
Okay.
So for me, in our office, we have like a 0% preterm delivery rate. We see people with short cervixes, long cervixes. We put medicine. We make sure you deliver full term.
Okay.
You're lucky your last baby delivered at 38 weeks. First babies hardly ever go on time. So when I heard that, I'm like, why'd you deliver so early? So your cervix is actually a little short. It's around 2.6 centimeters. We should usually expect it to be around 4 to 5 centimeters.
Okay.
So this is you're just born with a shorter cervix, but imagine a baby in a balloon. The balloon's the cervix, the uterus. The knot is the cervix. If you have a short knot, you can lose the air out of this. So sometimes you're at risk for preterm delivery in case you have a shorter knot.
Okay.
So let's follow you. As long as you stay at that number, I think that's fine. If that's too short, then we can do other things if necessary. Now, if we have to do a C-section, in case they have an issue with that, they can either give you IV sedation or they can do a spinal once you get closer to having the baby.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to feel having a C-section.
Oh, no, you won't.
Okay.
No matter what. They always test it beforehand. No, it's only on TV. In real life, you won't feel anything.
Okay. So they would put me to sleep completely for some reason.
If that doesn't work, then they'll put you to sleep.
Okay, got it.
It's done all the time. The baby will be fine.
Okay. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. So I don't want to freak you out.
Now I'm high risk and I need to see a doctor.
I think it's advisable just because you have a few things going on, the Vasa Previa and then the short cervix.
Okay, got it.
Cool.
And I'll most likely deliver early, around like 35 weeks, most likely.
If the Vasa Previa stays, yes. Right now in 2 weeks, I'll see what it is compared to here, and we'll go from there.
And then
I'll
and
call
then
your midwife today and let her know about the plan, what's going on.
And you'll recommend me to another doctor that would actually deliver me?
Yeah, so we have lots of doctors in this building. She has another partner there, also called. They share, but you're going to be probably C-section. So probably if the Vasa Previa stays persistent, if not, you'll probably be an induction.
Okay.
Either way. So I think you should be good. You can go down there right now and say, I'll tell her, I'm sending someone down.
Okay.
And then you can just get fixed in and transfer all the notes and take your time.
Okay.
As long as you're seen here and this is all recognized, you're in good shape.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you
Right,
so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll see you outside.
Okay.
Obviously a little scary now.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey,
What's wrong? Oh my god, Sissy, what's wrong?
no, everything's okay. The baby's fine.
Hi?
But I guess I have something called Vasa Previa, and my cervix is really short, so now I'm considered high risk, and I'm probably gonna have to have like a C-section really early on.
What's it called?
Called Vasa Previa.
And what's the difference between like the other one?
What do you mean, what other one?
Like placenta previa.
So that I think has to do with your placenta. And this one's like,
And what does this have to do with?
this one's a little bit different. It has like, there's like blood vessels like at the opening of like where my cervix is.
Shannon's on the other. Mom's on the other. Let me ask her.
Okay.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey. I have Shannon on the call. Oh, hey, Sean.
Hey, Mom.
What's up?
So I was just telling Brittany like the baby's fine, but I'm sorry, it's hard for me to not like.
Take a breath. Mom, the baby's fine. It's just that Shannon has they kind of like diagnosed her with this thing called Vasa
Previa.
It's something Previa,
Yeah.
and it has something to do with her cervix, which means she might have to have like an early C-section, but so she's not able to have like midwives or anything like that.
Okay, so everything's fine, but I don't understand what that thing is.
I have like all these blood vessels that are not like in free flowing blood, like where like the baby would come out, and also my
So you have to have a C-section.
yeah, and also like my cervix is really short. And
Why is that?
they don't know. That's just the doctor that I saw is actually a high risk doctor that does like these specialized scans. And
Oh,
what?
Well, that was lucky.
Yeah, but he doesn't deliver babies. Like, this is just his like specialty or whatever. It was just like really kind of scary. I think I'm just more like scared.
Healthy. I mean, that's normal. That's understanding.
Yeah. The blood vessels are, I can't remember because I was kind of just shocked that there was something wrong.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. It's rare, but it is like, it's concerning. And did he say there's any chance this could go away, or
So
like, that this is kind of like...
he said that it's something that they need to like monitor. I guess that's what he says, that I was just born that way. So
no doctors have ever diagnosed you with this?
no,
Well, that seems weird. You've had a million scans.
I know, but me.
Well, thank God you have this one, and you didn't go to try to have a normal, midwife thing. Well, that's
But Mom, the midwife sent her here.
No, I know.
Yeah, that's
So
why they
let's
do
focus on,
this.
like, what this, like, not about midwives, because that's not really important in this situation. It's more just what's going on with Shannon and the baby. So when I was reading about it, it said, like, that you could have, like, bleeding, or is there any, like, have you had any bleeding?
So so Travis and I haven't had sex for like so long, and then we had sex one time, like a few, like it was like when we were doing like the Halloween stuff, and I had like spotting after, and the midwife said it could be from having sex, like, and not remember I told you about that?
Yeah.
And so the doctor said like absolutely no intercourse, like no working out. Like, he let me film it because I was like starting to like kind of like black out a little bit. I'm like, I'm not going to remember this.
Are you allowed to walk?
I didn't even ask him.
So is there anything you can do to help? Like, is it just, like, the surprising thing to me is you had a natural birth already. So things clearly must have changed.
Right. Well, I probably didn't have this Vasoprevia thing with Snow.
But I mean, you had a short cervix.
I did, which is why I probably had her early.
Now you can relax, Shannon, and stop looking for houses for a little while, and you'll start up again, after the baby's born, and then I can watch the baby. You can go house hunting, wherever, we'll figure it out.
So, but are you sure that's okay? Because I can always get a place for rent.
Shannon, hello.
Well,
Yeah, just stay. The learn house from Brittany's house to my house is better you should do. If you need to set up your stuff somewhere else, separate, you can set it up there.
Yeah, you can use
we'll make it work.
well, I feel better talking to you guys and knowing like how supportive. Like, without you guys, honestly, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably have a breakdown. But I feel just so have
right?
such an amazing support system, and knowing that I have both you guys, and like you're like, oh, it's fine, just stay with us, like it's not a big deal. And I'm like, oh my god, they're probably so sick of having us there. Like, I just feel bad.
We're not sick of having you at all. We love. I tell everyone every day, oh my god, I get that both of my kids at my house every second day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you are really lucky.
But I love you both, and I'm
It's really scary, though. Like, it's scary, and you're going to have, like, breakdowns and stuff, and that's okay. But, like, you just have to be vocal about it if you're, like, in pain or you're just freaked out. I mean, you do have a big support system, and you have a lot of people, and you have a lot of doctors and midwives and all these people.
Yeah.
So just take advantage of that. Like, ask the questions, be curious, don't be shy about it.
Yeah, I think I just need to
call the new doctor.
Yeah, I'm gonna call the.
Depend on you, or Brittany to pretend she's you to get the appointment, because I think we might do a better job than you.
Okay. Well, the doctor is
Do you want me
Doctor.
to, or do you want Britt to?
Either one, whoever has the time.
I don't know what you're talking about. Like, do it scheduling an appointment.
So
Broke up a little bit, right?
I mean, I'm sorry that it happened. This is like going on because it's super, super bummer.
Yeah.
And it sucks. You're just like, freaking I do all this work and then I have to do this, like, and this happens. That's so lame. But it's not like, thankfully the baby's okay, and that's what's important. That's most important.
Yeah.
And that you're healthy and stuff. So,
Right.
we will get through this.
Okay, thanks, sister. I love you so much.
I love you. I will let you know once I talk to them.
Okay, thanks. Love you.
Okay.
Bye. Okay. That was a lot. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go home now, tell Travis everything that's going on, and good. There were little bubbles in the baby's brain. They think most definitely will go away and be totally fine. So they want to see me back in 8 to 9 weeks just to double check that. They found like blood vessels that are going like where my cervix is. So it's called Vasa Previa. Most likely we'll be delivering through a C-section, and I will most likely be hospitalized.
What's full term? 40?
Yeah. But
The baby's not fine, and you're not fine.
No, we're fine.
And obviously you're telling me a bunch of stuff that like I have no idea about any of this stuff. I don't know what bubbles in the brain means. I don't know what was it?
So it's called
the
Vasa.
other, yeah.
Okay, so it's called Vasoprevia. And it's just like basically where blood vessels ran along your cervix, like where the baby would come out. So like we wouldn't be able to deliver naturally. The other thing that...
This is all bad news. You're like, oh, like everything, you know.
Because I don't want you to worry, but I'm
already worried.
Okay, well, don't. Everything's gonna be fine.
No, it doesn't sound like everything's gonna be fine.
Well, it's going
This
to
is
be.
this is like 2 things, and now there's more. So now there's 3 things that are an issue, and so and it's like stuff that I don't know.
Okay, so I'm gonna explain
So I'm
more.
I don't know what it is, and so
understand.
it concerns me
I know.
because I have to like figure it out and research
Okay,
and
listen,
learn and everything else.
It's gonna be okay.
Other stuff like you can tell me, I understand, like normal things that go ahead, like they said I have pre-gestational diabetes, they said, you know, this or that or whatever, like that stuff I understand.
So listen, everything's gonna be fine because they found it early.
Okay, but
And then
what, I don't know what the bubbles are. What is the bubbles
So the
thing?
I'm gonna play everything. We recorded everything, and the doctor let me record so that he could, so that you could hear what he was saying. And he also said that he's going to.
Well, I think whoever OB we find, like they need to
So-
know and have this whole report and everything.
Everything's already all taken care of. He's making a call to the midwives, and he's also calling an OB
This is the
So the doctor that I went to see
okay.
is not a doctor that delivers babies. He's a high risk OB, which I'm so glad that our midwife sent us to, because like, you know, most of the time you wouldn't, I mean, you get your 20-week scan, but like this is a doctor that does like 20-week scans. This is like the appointment they like look to make sure everything's okay, and it's good that they caught it early.
This is the whole reason why we go do this.
Right.
So that we were not going to not do this.
Right.
You know, we were going to do all the things we need
So
to do.
so the other problem with having the Vasoprevia is obviously like this is a something that
we'll go
needs
back
to
to
be treated.
the bubbles.
Okay, the
I
bubbles
don't know
in
what
the, I know it
this-
sounds scary, but he says almost always it goes away in 8 to 9 weeks. He's gonna see me back just to make sure it's gone.
Well, what is it?
It's basically the place where like babies make water, and that part of the brain, it has nothing to do with like brain function. It's just like the part where it makes water. And he says almost always, anytime that I see this, I have my patients come back, and almost always it's gone. So he's like, I'm not concerned about it. They just want to make sure that it goes away.
Okay.
So
are we aware of
That's-
like a cause or a solution or?
I'm gonna let you watch the video so you can hear everything.
Okay.
And he also said, because of like the whole COVID thing, you know, like husbands are not allowed.
Mhm.
He said he will make an exception in my case that you can come with me to my next appointment.
Okay.
But it has to be at the end of the day when there's no other patients, because he can't have
That's
other
fine.
patients
We
see
can
it
see
either.
if Brittany or your mom can come
Well,
know the
Yeah, he knows who the midwives are.
Okay.
He's calling them personally to like tell them and fill them in on everything.
Okay.
Is because I also have a short cervix, which is like having a
So
short
this
cervix.
is the
and
third thing. So the second thing, going back to the second thing, the blood vessel thingies.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what?
This is called Vasa Previa. So
okay. And there's blood vessels that are near the edge of.
Yeah. So basically, what he said is about 20 to 25%. It can clear up on its own, but he said in my case, it doesn't look like it's going to.
So what is this caused by? What is?
So it's just something that happens. So this is Vasoprevia. It's an incredibly rare but severe complication of pregnancy. In Vasoprevia, some of the fetal umbilical cord blood vessels run across or very close to the internal opening of the cervix. These vessels are inside the membrane, then protected by the umbilical cord or the placenta.
Yeah. So
everything's gonna be okay. Give me a hug. Everything's gonna be alright. We are here for each other.
I love you.
What we do. Everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah. I just, like I said, I gotta figure it out.